Hi, Christina here, and I'm going to give you a look today at the Good and the Beautiful's Introduction to Energy Science unit. Our family just finished using it. It's only 6 lessons, so it's quite short. We did 1 lesson a week, so in 6 weeks we completed this whole unit. I'm going to give you a look at it today. So this is what it looks like, the cover. So it's designed for a unit study for K to 6, but there is an extension in it as well for grades 7 to 12. Now, first of all, there's a lot of questions about how to put the unit together. So I actually printed the PDF version, but even if you order it, it comes loose leaf. So I originally put it into a binder, but I found it was just too big, it was too cumbersome. So I actually ended up laminating the first and the last page, and then I spiral bound it. And when you get it, there's a number of pages that you actually cut up, and you can use that for your, what's your science wall it's called, and I'll show that to you in a minute. What I did was when there was something for the science wall or there was mini books in it, I just printed those in black and white, and I put them in here in the right spot so I would know which lesson that they went with. When I turn the camera around, I'll give you a good flip through the book. But I just wanted to mention that because there is some discussion about what's a good way to kind of put that together. Now, one of the things I really loved about this is that it comes with a recommendation for literature to use alongside of it. So we had 5 of the books that are listed. The first is this one, Energy Makes Things Happen. I'll give you a quick look inside. And I really like this book. That was definitely one that I really liked, and so did the kids. This one here is called Energy, Heat, Light, and Fuel. And again, this was a really good one. It's written like a story. Got some really great information in it. The kids really get good information from that and remember it. This one is Wile E. Coyote, Experiments with Energy, ZAP. And I ended up not using this one. There's a lot of writing in it, and I just kind of felt like it was too much. So I left it out, and the kids, at least one of them, he has already read through it and had a look. I think 2 of them did. So it was nice to have around and kind of for older children, but we didn't end up using it with the lessons. This one here, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. And it's a little confusing because there's actually 3 books about the same person in different formats. There's this short one here that's just like a picture book. And then there's actually a book for children, and then there's one for adults. So this is the one that they're referring to, but it's a little confusing. It's a great book though. And the last one was this one, A True Energy Book, or True Book Energy. This is kind of a longer one too. We did go through it though. I found it's good for older children. Now for the mini books, I ended up laminating and then binding them. These are the 2 mini books. And what I actually did was I put the books, the binding on the top, and I did the pages this way. And I did that because I wanted these to last. We're going to be going through this unit at least once, twice, probably, maybe even 3 times as my younger children get older. And so I wanted it to stay in good shape, and I just felt like that was an easier way to use them. And so I just did it that way. For some of the other things, like the game, there's these cards for the game that goes with it. I laminated them again so we can use them. And I just kept everything in a little baggie. And then I kept the baggie and all the mini books and everything else just in a large bag. I found that was a really good way just to keep everything together. I have the sheets that the kids would need to write on, and I'd need to photocopy all in here. And then again, I just printed an extra copy and bound it in the book so that I knew where things went. So I'll turn the book around and give you a quick look inside and give you a look at some of my children's work as well as our science wall, and then I'll come back and talk to you a little bit more. So here's a look at, again, how I bound it. It's quite thin, which is nice. I think I would have trimmed this next time before I bound it so it sat more flush, but that's what it looks like. So inside there's a table of contents. There's information here telling you what these little symbols mean and how to set everything up. This is the supplies needed. There's a list for each. This is the optional read alouds. I've just marked which ones I have. So there are 1, 2 other books that I didn't get. These are the vocabulary cards, but I'll show you the science wall in a minute. These are up on our science wall throughout the course. This is what a lesson looks like. So lesson number 1, objective, preparation, optional read aloud, activity, read to the children, mini book, science wall, there's a science journal, and then older children, what they can do as well. This is a mini book here that came with it. This is an activity that they did. And then on to lesson 2. Lesson 2, they made atoms and molecules out of Play-Doh, which my kids loved. There you go, you can see kind of what it looks like. And so it just continues on in the same format with the next lessons. And again, I just printed them in black and white. This is the extension at the end that is for grades 7 to 12. So there's extra reading and there are extra assignments you can do as well. I had my 5th grader read this, but he didn't do any of the assignments. But it was more than manageable for him to just read this. There you go. That is what that looks like. Now again, I printed this one on the computer and the color turned out quite good. This was the PDF one. So I just want to show you some of my children's work. Because we did it for multiple children, you can see how they're all able to take part and to do it in different ways. So there's one there. Only my 3 oldest did this one. This is where we did experiments and they had to put which experiment was under which category. And then we did this one here, potential and kinetic. This is my 4-year-old. So you can just kind of see what it looks like. Now I had a science binder for them, but because we're finishing up the year, I took everything out. And really for this unit, there's so few papers. There's one more assignment we did orally. We didn't do it written down. That was pretty much all. So you could really get away with not having a binder for this unit for sure. Part of the course is having a science wall, and I've seen people use the trifold boards, or people put them up around their room or their house, or on a whiteboard. We just moved a few months ago. We're currently homeschooling in our living room, and so I ended up putting everything with sticky tack on the wall right by our table here. And so I'll give you a quick look at what that looks like for us. So we just put these up as we went along. Excuse my messy living room here. And then we have the rest of it over here in the vocabulary in different categories. And we just added to it as we went along. And then it's right here by the table for the days. The kids are around, they can just have a look at them throughout the day and see it. Now I should just add too real quick that these are laminated. That's why they're getting the shine on here. I just found that was easier when I am using the sticky tack, but because I wanted to keep everything for when I do it again in the future, I felt like it was worth laminating everything. So there's a look at the unit study and how it works, and my kids really liked this. They liked the way it was laid out. They liked that there were books. They liked how varied it was. They liked the hands-on experiments. There's one where you build a catapult, and we were shooting mini marshmallows and they were trying to catch them in their mouths. You know, like that was fun. There's even one that involves a recipe for a dessert that you can make. And they really like that too. And that talks about how they're using the energy while they're eating it and the energy that's used while making it. So just very varied and lots of different points and interests. And I think it does work well for multiple children. My children are 4, 7, 8, and 10. And it really kept their interest. My 1-year-old sometimes is around 2. There's a game that comes with it. It was really varied in the sense that they were continually learning, but in different ways. And so it appeals to all different types of learners that way as well. And the extension part is great for older children. So if there's anything I've missed, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below and I will try to answer them for you. But otherwise, I hope that you're having a great day. Take care.